Whew. Oh man. Good morning, good night, or wherever y'all at. Hello. What's going on, guys? Stalker Actual here. Um, I'm a little unprepared, so just kind of bear with me. But I just got back in from work and happened to go, cruising through the news feeds, and come to find out, bam, it's here. Finally, thank goodness it's here. The FlyTheMaddog X MD-80 or MD-82 to be exact. But yeah, super excited about this thing. Freaking probably when it was first released, way back in like ooh, man, what was that? Like FX no, like FX 2004 or something like. I mean, it's been a while since we've seen this aircraft, but enough about all the history. I'm sure the majority of you guys have either seen or been around this aircraft at one point or another, when traveling and things like that, playing spotting or whatever. But I mean, she's old. There's no doubt about that. Very, very old aircraft, but kind of, I'm not going to say really. Some of the features made sense for the time, but some may argue that it's a little quirky as far as design features are concerned. But enough about that. Well, what we got going on today, we're gonna go ahead and put this old girl through her paces. Gonna make a quick trip to Amarillo and back, and make a quick turn through Dallas, and we'll head south to I don't know, either maybe Gulfport or Jackson, Mississippi, depending. I'm not exactly sure, but go ahead and get this thing warmed up here. And you do need to make sure you have your audio panel configured, or it will show you no love when you try to get external power connected. So see, earphone not set correctly, so I got to figure out what I did. And it also helps if you read the manual, which, there we go, I think it's that. Go ahead and there we go. Hey, what's going on, Woods? Hit this Tuesday. Yeah, I actually I was so excited. I jumped on TeamViewer and downloaded to my got downloaded before I even got home, because I'm really excited about this airplane. Probably one of my most favorite aircraft. And I will say, sir, if you have not tried it, as reclusive as this guy may be, he does not disappoint when he puts out releases. So I would definitely take the opportunity. Says I got a chance to try this thing out. This thing's awesome. I already gotten a few flights in it, but I mean, that whole weathered look, just awesome. You can kind of see the aileron controls there, which the aileron controls, I'm not sure if you guys know, the MD-80 series actually fly the control surfaces. So as this guy goes up, this guy goes down, and then the plane, the aircraft turns accordingly. Same thing with the rudder. I believe the rudder is hydraulically controlled. Tab is hydraulically controlled, but as a backup, you still have the mechanical linkages there, so you're able to kind of quote unquote fly the rudder as well. So you can, in essence, not have any battery power or hydraulic power and still be able to get to where you need to go, which is awesome. extremely durable airplane. But let's see here. Actually, let me adjust my volume. All right. So yeah, there you go. The overhead. Right now, my my texture settings are set to medium, so they're not as crisp as they can be, but I mean, it's still pretty sharp. Sharp enough for me, at least. So I mean, just flight deck is well put together, but I mean, of course, this thing is kind of old, so. But let's go ahead and get some external air. There we go. Go ahead and turn on galley power. And as you can see, there are, you can see the external ground equipment here around the airplane. So just in case some of you were wondering, also has built-in, I say built-in, but shift 1. Yeah, which brings up this awesome menu here. Pretty nice. So, you know, you can get a more direct view of the overhead panel, which does help, you know. Go ahead and test the emergency lights real quick. So go ahead and throw this guy back here. All right. Yeah, it's pretty nice, not gonna lie, but see here. And normally I'll just slide over here and go ahead and open these guys. And just check. Yeah, I usually go ahead and open these guys because you have to open them anyway for engine start. So just go ahead and open your pneumatic cross feed valves. And for those of you who do own GSX and have done the 4.2 update, as far as what I've found, that the only quirk I really saw is just that. Okay. Yeah, the only quirk I saw is that when you hit the control F12, and I was going to do that. All right, control F12, it comes up kind of enlarged, so you just gotta undock it and just kind of drag it. See, now you kind of, there we go. It kind of helps a little bit. Let's see, let's go ahead and, all right, so we're gonna head to Amarillo. So jump in our antiquated FMC. Go ahead and dial in our reference airport, which is Dallas Fort Worth. And I'm just going to go. Normally I'll already have all this done, but I'm just going to kind of go through it and give those of you who have not tried it an idea of what's going on. So it's got your origin, destination, airport. Yeah, I'm going to jump over here into my sim brief page. Let's see. And get my routing. I mean, you can go and look at the legs, but really you can get this thing all programmed up just using the routing. And while I'm doing that, I normally like to kind of utilize a little virtual attendant to kind of help with the immersion. So you can go ahead and start boarding. And let's see. Go ahead and your fuel. So 15,000 pounds. So before I do that, I'm going to bring up our virtual mechanic. And refilling. And we can bump it up. Let's see. Even do 7,600. That's about right. 7,600. We'll do that. All right. So dive back here in our dive back into our flight management computer. Snag the routing. Now, normally I like to go ahead and get ATIS, and I know right now the winds are favoring all the northern runways, so 35, 36. So I'll jump in my map, see how I'm oriented. It just, to me, just kind of helps with the flow. Alright, so yeah, we're going to be probably favoring 36 right, so I'll go ahead and build my departure side first. 36 right, and let's see, HUDAD 2 departure. HUDAD 2 departure, there's no transition, probably because the flight's so short. Then after that, pretty much it's direct panhandle, so direct Papa November Hotel, throw that in there, and then it's gonna say, hey, I see two of them. Normally the most top one is the ideal one, so we'll go ahead and select that, then slide over here and select runway Amarillo, runway 31, I believe. So we'll go ahead and dial in. We'll go ahead and dial in the ILS for 31, but does it have an ILS on here? No, it doesn't. That's cool. I'll pull the METAR here shortly and see if we can actually, well, I'm thinking about it, let's go ahead and do it now. So I know there's a lot of weather in the area, but I just want to be sure. Let's see, when out of the west. So yeah, it's about 3-1. So I know we got a butt ton of RNAV approaches here. So we'll go ahead and select RNAV Yankee, and Goonie will be the transition according to my charts. And we'll go ahead and activate that bad boy. Let's see, and this guy also comes with a little built-in speed card here, so gives you the opportunity to verify your takeoff weight. And you can, this is adjustable, so you can adjust your takeoff weights. And I'll give you your V speeds over here. So 36 right, you notice you're taking off on 36 right. Runway conditions, roughly dry, give or take. The winds, it pulls this data from the built-in flight planner, the load manager that comes with MD-80. So if you input the winds, it'll also be depicted here as well, and it might just give you some additional calculations. Outside air temperature is, you know, it pulls it from the manager. UNH there. I'm not sure. I want to say if you use the weather information that's in the load manager, it'll update this, because right now it's 3036, and so this is a smidge off. But as far as my airfield weight, my takeoff weight, I kind of get you pretty close on this side, unless you decide to use the load manager. When this first came out, I mean, there was no professional flight planner X or anything like that. It was like super old. So quite honestly, the flight manager that comes with the MD-80 is quite capable. getting you a complete trip. So I mean, you know, if you're one of those people, you know, you want to save a little change and don't use SimBrief. Um, I mean, it's a pretty good option. So you just set up a little basic P3D or FXX flight plan and run it through the MaddDog's flight planner, and it'll give you the most accurate, interpolated winds and all that fun stuff, and it makes your speed card a lot more accurate. So just a little heads up there if you guys decide to use that. And Salvador should be open. Yeah, Salvador should be open. So, and right now it's like they're shutting. So that's one thing about this flight attendant. She tends to throw them on there, freaking get them loaded up and ready. So you don't have to worry about waiting for a while. So we know that our cruise altitude will be right around 24,000 feet. Flight level 240 says this flight is only 278 miles. So, and reserve, and there's our chart. I don't even know, will it come up on the stream? I don't know if you guys can see it. There you go. Yeah, you guys can see it. So it'll come up on the stream here. Come on, not the stream, but the screen. Sorry. Either way, comes up on both the screen and stream. So, but comes up with your load chart here. So we'll have all your pertinence. If you look up the load manager, enter some of this data. We'll also fill it as well. Your zero fuel weight, takeoff fuel, which, you know, more or less might be off depending on if you use this and put in and has all the weather data, you know, you'll have that. But if not, some of those numbers will be off, so don't trust them. If you use SimBrief, use the fuel information off of that. If not, you're going to be totally screwed when you're en route. So just oh my gosh, I know she's complaining. Oh no, she's probably saying we're ready. So yeah, we're a little behind because I'm trying to do all this, and so yeah. So the APU is not like some of the newer Boeings. You will have to have some sort of fuel pressure. So whether it be from the main fuel pumps or the start pump, it doesn't matter. She just needs some type of fuel pressure. So make sure you have that going. Start pump, especially if you're quite a ways away from starting up. Go ahead and hit your start pump and hit your APU master, and she'll fire up just nicely. So like I said, we're a little behind, so we'll go through some of the basics. And all right, so we're gonna try to roll through this real quick. Are my sounds off? I don't think so. Are they? I'm gonna be so upset if, let's see here. Property. Testing. Are you guys getting audio there? No clicking sounds? Hold on. Let's see. You hear that, bud? Really, no clicking sounds. Amazing how you leave your computer for a couple of days and all of a sudden now, no playing sounds. Let's see here. Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can fix this. I'm jumping up. Properties. Okay, OBS is showing audio there. Is that a little better? Hopefully that fixed it. You should definitely hear that. See, according to this, you guys should be hearing. Here now is just low. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll make that adjustment. That's an easy fix. I bumped it up a little bit, so hopefully that helps. So let me know if it's still low, because that's the easy fix. Thank you for catching that. Oh my gosh, that was horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. I'm telling you, like, you leave your computer and it's been off. Like, my computer's been off, and you turn it on, it's like everything. I don't know. I should know, but I don't. Because that's where it's like, I leave everything configured nicely. You're like, okay, cool. Woo! Disaster averted. Thank you, Mr. Woods. Thank you, sir. Let's see here. And you have to do have to uncage this guy to get it to line out. And Mr. Woods, I'm not sure. Do you have a Steam account, sir? Let me know if you have a Steam account. If you do, I might have something for you. Best do. I have a Steam account with my 2 fingers. No, that's fine. All right, but yeah, see me after the stream, man. I got something for you. Thank you for your services. All right, so throw it in our fuel here. 15.2, and then I'm gonna throw the normal. All right, cool. 2 fingers. Okay, cool. All right, 2.5. Let's see, and then I think the zero fuel was 110,000 pounds, so we'll throw that in there. And let's see, jump to our speed card here. Let's see, 126, speed 100. 32, V2. Billy, how's it going there, Billy? Yeah, man, it's awesome airplane. Just not gonna lie to you. I mean, a lot of times we'll get kind of excited, a little overly excited for a release, and then turns out to be garbage. But I honestly can't say that about this thing. And just a little trick in case you guys don't know. I mean, you can manually move your bugs or whatever, but you know, if you just click that, it gives you your lines up your speed bugs for you. So just a little quick tip I found. And I know, like, back in the day they had it. I'm like, well, surely he wouldn't have taken that out, but apparently he didn't. So looks like our doors are shut, so we'll go ahead and pull this gate. Get our panel, overhead panel here configured. And we've had, honestly, no, never mind, because we have external air, so we'll go ahead and disconnect it.
You're clear to disconnect.
That's another. Yeah, you know, and I've done that too, and which, you know, of course, you know, being that you stream as well, you know the work and the effort it takes, and then it's like to go 45 minutes and then to realize that your audio has been off the whole time, or you've been in mute the whole time, is just, you know, sometimes just like, you know what, I'm done. I'm just done. I'm just going to turn it off for the night and just we'll try again tomorrow. All right, go ahead and get that APU connected there. But yeah, it's a soul-crushing feeling to hit audio problems.
You're clear to disconnect. Thanks.
All right, so got our. The only thing that's kind of weird, you will have to jump positions quite a bit on this airplane because your hydraulic controls for some unknown reason are located like right there near the first officer's knee. So you will have to make some adjustments on that. I'll show you here in a minute. We'll go hang the emergency lights on. Don't want no terrorists in the cockpit, so we'll go ahead and turn on lock our doors there, get our fuel pumps going. And let's see, slide over here. Couple of adjustments there on the pressurization panel. Alright, everything seems in order. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the start pumps for now. We're going to turn them bad boys off. And should be ready to push. Make sure we got all our ground equipment. And I don't know if you noticed, there is a little exhaust coming from the APU there, so that's a nice little addition. And just trying to get my positioning right. Then we're going to be going to the left. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. All right, so we'll go ahead and call up. Let's see, American. I'm going to the left. No. Now, the MD-80 does come with its own ground services or whatever, but we all know how awesome GSX is when it doesn't blow up your sim, so we're going to use that for now. And we'll go ahead and set our trim to line up with our CG there. I'm doing this with no hydraulic pressure, which is nice. Alright, so we'll go ahead and make sure we got good air pressure there, looking good. So we'll switch our ignition to system B.
Departure check completed. Flight has been inserted. Release parking brakes.
Alright, so parking brakes released. Now I have the failures turned on, so you definitely have to monitor your engines there once we open up the start valve. So we'll go ahead and open up that start valve there. And we'll watch our N2 percentage come up there. I'm looking for about 22-23%. Looks like that number works nicely on these JT8Ds to keep you from blowing them up. So And she's a little slow to get up there, but once she lines out, it'll fire right off. So about 23% right there. Bring in a fuel, you'll get a drop, but your EGT lights off, so keeping on that EGT. Alright, looks like she's lined out right there, so go ahead and turn off the start valve, which these are not automatic like on the Boeings and Airbuses and such, so you make sure you gotta make sure you close them. And verify we're clear on the left, kind of, sort of, maybe. And go ahead and start that left engine. Same deal. Just watch the N2 and wait for it to get to about 22-23%. And they are slow. They do take time to spool up. And right at 23, we'll go ahead and bring in fuel. Watch the EGT there. You have to be ready on the fuel, just in case. Alright, give me a minute there. 7 parking brake. Now, going back over here to the first officer's panel. Normally, before you start flow, you got to make sure your trans and your aux pumps are on, but we didn't do that. We'll be okay. And the reason why I say it is a little difficult because you will have to jump over here to take off and switch these to low, and your aux and transfer pump off. So just so you know. Alright, so now we'll go ahead and bring our flaps to about flaps 15-ish. Go ahead and okay. So while they're finishing that up, we'll go ahead and acknowledge that. Of course, is that right? Watch the whole straight. Well, I don't know. I guess the reason why I do it on this one because it seems like their failure model is a little more plausible than most I've seen. I mean, I don't want to be, I don't want to be guaranteed the possibility of a failure, but I do want, if I mishandle the aircraft, I do at some point want it to bite me. So, it's nothing. Let's see here. Go ahead and arm nav mode. I'm sorry, it's going through the flows real quick. Arm 240 there, and we'll go ahead and press our little toggle buttons. Anger, take off that minute. Sorry, I gotta do that. It's backwards. Other way around. Okay. Alright, so we got that set. Hold off on the radar, trim set, and then we can go ahead and close these crossfeed valves. And since the left and right generator are already on, you don't have to worry about resetting them or anything. Go ahead and turn off your left and right APU bus. And get some air conditioning back there because I'm pretty sure. Oh no, it's actually kind of cold in Dallas, so they're probably freezing right now, but it's okay. Alright, we'll go ahead and throw their ignition to off. And we'll go ahead and turn on our anti-skid and our yaw damper. So got that nice and lined out, and windshield and anti-ice on, and our pitot heat on. And kind of doing once over. This will go through like a little cool down period before it shuts down, but it will shut down eventually. And other than that, we should be ready to go. Cool. Alright, so go ahead and turn the brakes off there. And turn on our nose wheels. I mean, nose lights, sorry. Still in my first cup of coffee. yeah, I'm a little behind on mine. Still in my first cut there. Let's see. The cool thing about these, about just this particular designer in general, like he's this, the taxiing is super accurate. I mean, I'm at idle thrust and she taxis amazingly. I don't even know if that's a word, but we're gonna make it up today, just to describe the coolness of this airplane. Every now and then you'll have to bump the throttles just a little bit to keep it going, but she doesn't need much at all. And actually, honestly, there's been times, especially if you're running like super light, you know, you can just fire up number 2 and coast on down to the runway, and then fire up 1 a little later. The idle thrust here is still just a little high on these Pratt and Whitneys, so you got plenty of power to get down the taxiway. Plenty of power. Yep. One important thing being that, you know, we are taking off some active weather, but the weather radar does work. In the load manager, there's a little configuration setting there, so if you're using Active Sky or REX or whatever, then you just select that and it'll pull this data from that. So not only is it there, but it's also fairly accurate, which is nice. Super nice. Now, just kind of brief you guys on the takeoff. It's a little busy. Let's see here. Do I fly? Let's see. Do I fly? Oh. Well, I do hold a commercial rating, but it's been several years. Actually, it's been since 2009 since I got out of the regionals, and I have been working in engineering ever since on the electronic side. And but I do still fly leisurely from time to time from a general aviation sense. And those airplanes like this is the reason why I even got into aviation, because I just love the, you know, the marriage between, you know, at the time, cutting edge technology, but yet you still had, you know, a lot of hydromechanical components and things like that. You know, like airplanes of today, I mean, they're all great, but it's just something about old girls like this just kind of captures the golden era of commercial aviation. And not only that, when you start having kids, it makes it kind of difficult. So, just saying. But yeah, nothing on this size, but I do try to at least keep my currency. If that answers your question, sir. But yeah, it's just I don't know, I don't know. I mean, the Airbuses and the Embraers are nice, but man, I really hate to see these things go. Let's see. Right now. Oh, thank you, sir. I wish I had all the answers, but just the little tidbits and pieces I picked up over the years. Over the years of doing this. I mean, you know, like I said, it was airplanes like this, you know, that in fact, my first experience with aviation was right when I went to basic training, and it was an MD-80, and kind of walked up front there, and they let me take a look at it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this things look so busy. And you know, I mean, honestly, in reality, MD-80 kind of is, but you know, and I was like, you know, I want to do this, you know, but nobody tells you the other side of commercial aviation, and you know it's great for most, but it's not for everybody. It's not only a it's not only doing something that you love, but it's also a lifestyle change, both good and bad. So you gotta take the good, I mean, you gotta take the bad with the good. So it's just one of those deals there, but it doesn't mean that I mean, there's many facets to the aviation industry, and you'll find that a lot of times general aviation leads the way, and from a technological sense, just because they're not bound by some of the regulatory processes that commercial aviation is. I mean, they're still bound by a lot of regulatory processes, but not as much as commercial aviation. So a lot of the technology that was out even when this guy was around had yet to really hit commercial aviation until honestly around like the 2000s you start seeing um, WASPs and all that coming out. But of course it came out for general aviation first. So I mean, there's awesomeness to both sides, but man, I would love to be behind the wheel of something like this. I mean, man, super awesome airplane. But I think America, and especially American, they're starting to kind of work them out of the schedule slowly but surely. So won't be too long. Won't be seeing these girls anymore. Unless they're like third world country or something like that. But alrighty, let's see here. Power on. Let's see. Make sure that's set correctly. Alright, so zoom out a little bit. I probably should have tested this before, but and make sure that's active. There we go. Bring contrast up a little bit. So power on. Part of your pre-flight checklist as well says that, but be alright. So I'm gonna set for about 1.5, be fine. Alright, so we'll go ahead and turn our ignition selector to both. Tower no. And right now the runway looks fairly uncontaminated, and it's not wet, so we'll go ahead and do a rolling takeoff for this one. Make sure to get our landing lights on, nose lights off, all that fun stuff. So we'll go ahead and bump the throttles a little bit. You guys will see what I'm talking about in a minute here. When I mean that is a little busy on takeoff in the MD-80. I say busy, you got to flip the auto throttle switch there once you get above 40%. Let's see. Spoilers are armed. Then we'll go ahead and advance the throttles here. Oh wow, this thing's, oh wow, okay, never mind. Didn't know this thing had auto brake, so we'll go ahead and ease on the brake here. Yeah, most of these guys didn't have auto brake, so we'll set that to take off and flip the little switch there. Now we're ready. Alright, so we'll go ahead and bump the throttles up there at about 40%. Then we'll go ahead and arm that auto throttle there.
Takeoff thrust set. Clamp.
There's clamp. gear up.
Gear up. Lights out.
American 225.
Righty.
You are leaving my airspace. Frequency change approved.
Alrighty, so go ahead and 1,000 feet, arm VNav. Let's see here. Start lowering the angle of attack a little bit.
Flap 0.
Okay, then retract the slats.
Slats retract. Climb thrust set.
Go ahead and arm pilot there. There have been some complaints regarding frame rates on this thing. I mean, mine are actually fairly smooth, so I'm not exactly sure. And I guess honestly, it really just depends on your setup, but I mean, for the most part, mine have been decent. Like right now, I'm hovering around the 30s, so I mean, it's nothing. Health points. What the heck is that? That's new. Must be with that 4.2 update. Okay, never mind. But I mean, quite honestly, I mean, my frames have they're pretty smooth with this guy. And you could actually see the control tabs there move, and then the aileron move accordingly, which is an awesome feature. And the wings do flex, in case in case some of you guys are wondering. I did notice that. I ran into some turbulence out in West Texas, and you can see the wing flex there. Or some like, dude, you got to be kidding me. And you can see that as the tab goes up, the aileron travels down. I mean, it's actually it's an ingenious design, but it does come. Got some condensation going with the wing there, but it does come with a little few downsides. It does get a little sluggish at lower speeds, so as long as you're aware of it, you can kind of compensate for that accordingly. So we're above 10,000 feet, so we'll go ahead and bring those landing lights up there, and you should see them. Oh yeah, they've retracted already. But I mean, just butter smooth in my opinion. I mean, of course, I'm running this stream as well, and if you're curious on my specs, there I did put my CPU Z specs down there on the bottom, down yonder in the description there. But yeah, I mean, that's really the biggest thing on Takeoff is around 40%. Hit your auto throttle before then. Make sure your auto brake is set to take off. Or, if you don't, it'll yell at you. But, around 40%, hit your auto throttle, and that activates, it's a little weird. You can still override the auto throttle on the MD-80. It's like some type of clutch mechanism. And you just kind of bring it up and get it to line out at your EPR limit there, and once clamp engages, then it'll kind of hold it for you. Yeah, you definitely have to be careful because it will bite you. Yesterday I did that, but I wasn't paying attention. I was distracted, and um, I over throttled, and luckily I caught it because your EGR gauge there get to flickering that. I was like, oh, and I kind of got out of it in time. But I mean, she will bite you. She will bite you. But I mean, it just adds all into the excitement, right? You know, I mean, jumping in our 7.3s or whatever, and then just kind of hitting the toggle button and everything happens automatically. You know, it gets a little boring. I mean, even at cruise, it's, you know, in this thing, you have to kind of be vigilant because you also have to monitor your fuel heat there. I mean, yeah, your fuel temp, and if you're not careful, you'll start getting crystals forming on the fuel filter, which, you know, can prove to be not fun for anyone who's not paying attention. So they recommend if it gets around 0 to go ahead and flip your fuel heat switches there, and operates off a timer. So you just flip them on, and it'll run through this little timing phase, heat them up, you know, to a comfortable temperature, and you know you're good to go. Especially, you know, in like colder climates, you start operating up north around like Minneapolis and things like that. You'll have to pay a little more attention to it. But and hold on one second, let me jump back over here. And this was another thing I was mentioning. This is actually supposed to be done right after takeoff. So you'll go ahead and just start your engine hydraulic pumps to low, and your aux and your trans pump to off. And you'll notice like your hydraulic pressure dropping off right there, which is fine. I mean, you don't need. You have to remember you're not controlling the entire surface. You're just controlling a little linkage there, so you don't need, you know, that much hydraulic pressure to accomplish that. Nor do you need the contingency of the aux and trans pump if you lose an engine. So there's that. But I mean, yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, as you can see, it's tracking the flight plan nicely. I mean, just solid. I mean, for aircraft designed in the like 60s or 70s, 60s or 70s or whatever. But I mean, I've read there's been a few quirks here and there, but for the most part, I mean, it's a fairly solid airplane. Fairly solid airplane. Let's see here. Let's double check. Okay, never mind. And normally I'll just like to kind of go over the overhead every now and then just to make sure everything's configured properly. And we can go ahead and turn these guys off. Right now we're coming out at 21,000 feet. 4240, like I said, we're not going to be flying at ridiculous high altitudes on this trip. Fuel temp looks good, around 10 to 12 degrees Celsius. Jump over to the prod page. Like I said, this isn't the fully decked out FMCs you'll find in like your Airbus and Embraers and all that fun stuff. It's fairly generic, so just be prepared for all the things you would like for it, which I mean it does the basics. It'll do your holes and everything else, but I think once you start getting into some of the more advanced deals there, like as far as with the GPS and stuff like that, then you're kind of lost in the sauce. But and it doesn't have an IRS, so basically just like your, you know, like someone took a GPS or Garmin unit or something and slapped it in a Cessna 172. I mean, same concept here. They just took a GPS unit, slapped it in here, and there you go. So there we go. They're making our turn there. Just like I said, super smooth, man. I mean, just super smooth. We're at 240, so what we'll do, we'll go ahead and set our EP limit to our cruise power there. And there is this guy does have a compass, which on the older version, this actually worked. But I think they haven't gotten the chance to implement this. The compass is actually located somewhere. I think it's either here or here. One of these little areas here, but it's almost like they forgot to put in the compass when they designed this thing. So it was like, oh snap. Well, instead of just like mounting it here where it would make sense, you know, we'll just mount it like somewhere, you know, somewhere here and just make it like super convoluted and random. So that's pretty much what they did. So these are just like mirrors, and you'll flip them up and, you know, verify your heading or whatever. Yeah, verify your magnetic heading, and there you go. But I mean, honestly, like how many of us have like shot a non-gyro approach? You know, I'm pretty sure the number's pretty small. And let's just get, you know, to even a smaller number. Like how many of us non-MD-80 drivers have shot a non-gyro approach? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, whatever. I mean, it's cool when it's there because you'll see, like, I mean, all it is just a little compass. I mean, you'll see an image of a compass there, but you know, I mean, there's that, and there is an alternate gear extension somewhere. McDonnell Douglas heights, things in word places. There is an alternate gear extension switch, but I can't find it right now. It's somewhere. I think it's like somewhere. Where'd it go? Oh, good grief. Yeah, it's somewhere, but there's an alternate gear extension switch, which would probably be handy to know where it is in case in the event, you know, you do have to perform an alternate gear extension. You know, just do yourself a favor and don't do what I did. Just not worry about it. Try to find it, you know, because you just never know. But the pressurization wheel does move in accordance to the pressure. Of course, this aircraft is equipped with dial-a-flap, and it's just what it is. You dial in your flap settings wherever you want, so you have that flexibility there, which is freaking awesome. Let's see, responding to a Twitter post real quick. And excuse me. Hold on 1 second, guys. Okay. But yeah, I respond to that post. But yeah, basically dial flap is like you can pick like any flap settings between like 10 to 20. It's 10 or 25, something like that. Those of you who know for sure, let me know on the comments. But I think it's like between 10 and 25 degrees. You can select any flap setting, and like I said, which gives you increased versatility when it comes to, you know, energy management and things like that. So I mean, super cool feature. I think, you know, you don't really see it so much in the later modeled airplanes. I'm assuming with, you know, the advances in wing design and stuff like that, you know, you really don't need it. But, you know, I mean, I don't know, it's kind of cool to have. But I mean, just I mean, you don't get, I mean, I guess the textures could be better. Now, keep in mind, I'm using like the medium, I'm on like the medium settings as far as like the cockpit textures are concerned, but I tried the higher res. I mean, they looked a little better, but not just, you know, what you would find in like PMDG and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't know. This works great for me. You know, I mean, I can see everything in, you know, relative clarity. Um, Nothing just like super, you know, super off. I mean, everything is clear and visible, and I can maintain good frames. Right now, I'm rolling around. I'm at cruise. I'm rolling around between, on the low end 48, high end 61 frames a second, and you know, not batting an eye. So, I mean, it works for me. You know, like I said, I've heard complaints on, um, you know, the frames being horrid or whatever, but I don't know if it's for the FXX version or P3D. I think I've heard some complaints on the P3D version as well before I download and install this thing. But I mean, other than that, I mean, it's pretty much it. I mean, this thing just works. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, it's still slow on pricey end. I think it's like 60, what was it, like 65 or something euro? What is it? Yeah, 65 euro. Right now it's like $5 off, so it's like 65 euros. So it comes out to be like $82 US. So I mean, it is steep, but like I said, I've heard of this this design studio for some years. I mean, they've been out for a while, and I mean, like I said, at first I thought it was gonna be vaporware because he just kind of did this little quick post like, hey, you know, new version's coming out for P3D. It's gonna be awesome, whatever, whatever. But it's like you never. But prior to then, you know, you didn't hear from the guy from like, I think it was like 2 or 3 years. You know, no one heard from him. Didn't respond to forum posts or anything like that. And then all of a sudden he kind of hits us with this, and it's like, yeah, you know, you're kind of thinking it's vaporware, but you know, then release happened, and it's just like, my goodness. And not only did the release happen, it happened, and pretty much most everything works. I mean, like the circuit breakers, I mean, they all work. Like everything up here works. I mean, I don't want to turn anything off right now, but I mean, everything works, which is, you know, amazing. So just something to keep in mind there. But let's see, Panhandle, where's Goonie? You know, we're probably gonna go direct Goonie after HUDAD, and that should put us right there at the initial approach fix and all that fun stuff. So I think we'll do that, and we'll start a descent. We'll kind of walk it down a little bit. Yeah, we'll probably start walking down. We'll go a little closer. Let's see. Right now we're 210 miles out, so we'll probably start, yeah, about $1.20, give or take. We'll probably start from there and walk our way down. But jumping into the performance of the MD-80, I think this is the 82. I think, yes, 82. The range is around 2,000 nautical miles, I believe. Just going off of memory. I think it's around 2,000 miles. So, I mean, American does run them from DFW to Toronto, I think is the longest route I happen to have found from FlightAware. But I mean, the capability is there, but I don't know if you'd really want to go much further than that in MD-80, because the service ceiling is only 37,000 feet. So, you know, and with these ginormous cigars, they're not the, I mean, they're cool, but they're not the most fuel efficient. So I'm pretty sure there's some other more capable aircraft that, you know, would fit that mission profile and not burn, you know, a gazillion pounds of gas. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you'll see them make long trips, but more often than not, you'll see them kind of around in the 500-600 nautical mile mission range is what I've, you know, is what I've happened to find them at. And you know, so I mean, as a passenger, they're not horrible they're not a horrible riding airplane. In my opinion, you know, they're much more comfortable than, you know, the CRJ, but of course not as fuel efficient, which, you know, kind of bummer. But you know, let's see. I have because I have good frame rate, no glitches yet for a little. Yeah, I mean it's solid, honestly, and I mean. Okay, here's my opinion. I think a lot of it has to do with the configuration of the user's machine, more or less. That now, that's not to say this thing's bug free. It's close to it, but it's not bug free. But I think a lot of the issues a lot of users are running into is associated to, you know, just configuration issues. So, you know, for those of you who are still kind of on the fence about it, I wouldn't just chalk it up to, you know, the MaddDog's end. Just make sure, you know, if you can, just, you know, try to, you know, start your flights with like a default aircraft. Like, you know, when I start my trips up, I start them in that default, I think, what is that, the F-22, where the heck it is, that Lockheed likes to start you off in because it's a Lockheed aircraft or whatever. You know, just start off with that. Then, you know, then when I start off with it, I'll also make my weather changes, get my all that set up, and then I'll load my MaddDog or my, you know, PMDG-73 or FS Labs or whatever it may be. Then I'll load my more complex aircraft in, and then, you know, that kind of, you know, gives some order to, you know, what's going on behind the scenes to kind of make it less likely for you to bug out. Which, you know, I mean, so far I haven't had one CTD in this thing yet. You know, and that's not to say it won't happen a bit. You know, I haven't had any CTDs yet, and in the 2 days I've flown this thing, let's see, 1, 3, 4, I probably made like 10, 11 trips in it so far, and yeah, I haven't had CTD yet, so, you know, just bear in mind, don't just, you know, I wouldn't just take all the forum posts at face value, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I mean, as far as my rig, you know, it's running pretty good. And even if you have a, you know, a lower spec machine, just turn your textures down. You know, go ahead and take the loss, turn your textures down, you know, ease off the traffic a little bit, and I'm sure, you know, yeah, I'm sure it'll line out just fine. Just in your case, Mr. Woods, you know, as long as you're getting decent frames. I mean, I don't need like 100 frames a second. You know, like I said, right now I'm cruising around. You know, even if I got down in the 20s, I'm good with that. You know, because it's a fluid 20. It's not, you know, real choppy or anything like that. So, you know, I mean, it's just I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm sold. I'm sold. As far as whether this guy gets a L or a W, in my opinion, gets a W. I mean, solid airplane. You know, it wasn't any of these nightmare releases. Honestly, Woods, I am. I really am. And I think what was so disappointing about the CRJ is that we've wanted a regional jet so long for, you know, FXX and P3D, until it's just like you want it to work. You know, just like those weird relationships. It's like you want it to work, but it's just not happening. It just wasn't happening. It's just like, you know, it was like, man, you know, this is, you know, all right, you know, it's a pretty decent airplane, you know, but, you know, the thing couldn't halfway follow a flight plan to save its life. You know, it's just one issue after another. I mean, you couldn't even really fly the thing IFR. I mean, it's just, you know, just, I don't know. Whatever happened, I mean, I really hope they're able to fix it, because I really still have high hopes for the CRJ. But, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, she's hangered for right now, because, I mean, as far as the routing, I mean, there are plenty of fun routes to fly in the MD-80. And I mean, I've always been a fan of this guy's work because it's just, you've never had. I mean, even there have been even people trying to port it over in the P3D, like the older version, which I don't know if you've seen the older version, but the virtual cockpit was horrid. Honestly, the VC was an afterthought when the airplane first released. It came with a basic 2D panel. And so, but back then really didn't, you really didn't know much difference. It was like, okay, cool. But then when VC started to become a thing, everybody was like, okay, can we get a VC on this or what? And, finally the guy coughed up a VC for this thing. And, I mean, this was back in like FS9 days, and the frame rates were just horrendous. I mean, terrible. And, but, that was kind of around the time the guy kind of started to drop off the radar, so you didn't really know if he was going to get updated or whatever. And then I think, shortly thereafter, he released an update for FXX, and that was just kind of it. And, not too long ago, it was just like, bam, I'm doing this for P3D, and you're just like, are you serious? I mean, I don't care who you are. I mean, everybody has, depending on where you're Airbus fan or whatever, everybody has some sort of respect for the MD-80. Because it's just, it works. I mean, even to this day, I mean, they just recently, what, 2 or 3 years ago, retired the DC-10. And it's been performing for, decades. It's been ferrying folks from point A to point B, and you get something like this, and I mean, this is a piece of aviation history, and this is darn near study level. I don't think you could really get much closer, as far as a proper MD-80 sim than this. I mean, you're just not. And I mean, unless you just have the scratch to fork out for a level D sim, which I mean, I don't know about everybody else, but my pocketbook isn't sitting like that. So I mean, for a desktop level sim, I mean, man, this is cheddar. I mean, this is awesome. Just super impressed with it. The frame rates are good. Like I said, I wouldn't let the the concerns a lot of people have have voiced regarding performance, just because it happens to not function all the way properly on their machine. Just gotta keep in mind everybody's configuration is different. So I mean, in my opinion, I say take the jump, try it out, see if you like it. If not, wait. And I'm sure over time, they'll start releasing more optimizations for it. And I mean, if yours already works great, I mean, it can only get better, right? Well, at least with hope, But I mean, as far as the features, I'm not sure if you guys have gone through features, but it has a dual multiple system simulation, digital flight data recorder, which we haven't even messed with, but yes, there is a actual flight data recorder on this thing. You just kind of set your takeoff weight there, your CEG and all that fun stuff there. Basically all the info you was sitting here, since it's kind of old school. And now a lot of the newer aircraft, they'll actually pull it from the flight management computer. Apparently it has an AKRacing system. I haven't fooled with it, but of course it has the EGPWS, wind shear alert and guidance system, a full electrical system simulation, like down to the schematic. From what I hear, I haven't verified it myself because I don't have MD-80 schematics just laying around. But the hydraulic system simulations there. Get tickled every time I let your screams. Yeah, Mr. Wood. I mean, it broke my heart. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it broke my heart, because I was super excited about it, and I mean, it's just like, and then, you know, it wasn't like he didn't release any updates. It's just like they could not get that thing lined out for to save their lives. And I don't know. I mean, I haven't honestly really even heard much chatter over here of late, because I don't know if they just said the heck with it and they, you know, Matthias made them focus on other things or what. But it's just like lately, you know, you used to get an update by every other week. You know, now it's like every, you know, it's been what, close to a month, and I haven't heard anything on it. So, you know, it's just like, well, dang, are you just going to kind of leave everybody out there hanging, or like, what are you going to do? Because, I mean, in my opinion, it's not right. Like TFDI, for example, with their 717, their release was a freaking train wreck. Everybody knows the release was a train wreck. But now, if you talk to a lot of users of the 717, they'll say it's a pretty, you know, it's a tier 1 airplane. I mean, it's up there. You know, and their release was a train wreck, but they, you know, they were responsive to the community. You know, they addressed, you know, as many concerns as they could regarding the airplane, and, you know, eventually they got it to, you know, got to a point where it's a viable simulation now. And then, you know, to top it off, you don't even have to go hunting for their updates in some form. You just start up your, you know, your manager, and the thing updates itself. I mean, how awesome can that be? So, I don't know. I don't know. I know right now I don't know where I stand with this CRJ. It did, sir. Indeed, it did. I was honestly super excited to come home, because I would finally have something to, you know, I mean, let's be honest, play with, you know. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I think everybody at some point at the time of 72 miles, so far 132. I'll wait till we're about, say about 120. We'll start walking it down nice and easy. But going back to the Mad Dog, don't rely on this. Don't let this thing run your entire flight plan. At some point, you will have to manually intervene. I mean, this is great. It works as designed, but don't rely on that, because you will, especially if you're the sick calcs and stuff like that. It's best to kind of be on your toes and do your own, because sometimes you'll be coming out of 11,000 and you'll breeze right past your airport. You know, I mean, it's just the way it is with these old girls. Just kind of, you definitely have to be on top of them. Another cool feature I was super impressed with, they've also implemented the real light simulation and the true glass, I mean not simulation but component, and a true glass component. So you can kind of, depending on where the sun's sitting, you can kind of see the scratches on the window. And if it rains, I was kind of hoping we'll get a little rain, but unfortunately it hasn't happened. But you know, you'll get the rain effects, and, you know, the wipers run and it wipes it off. I mean, it was a pretty nice addition. Pretty nice addition, I'm not gonna lie. But let's see, I'm trying to think of anything else. I mean, everything is just, I don't know. I mean, everything's there. And I mean, I'm sure there's something I hadn't found yet that'll kind of, you know, maybe a bug or something like that, or, and I know there are some things missing, like the bloody compass, but I mean, honestly, you know, it's a compass, you know, it's kind of, I don't know. But let's see here. Yeah, you can kind of, you know, especially you'll really see this on like the longer flights. You know, you'll find yourself having to bump the fuel heat switches a couple times, because they'll get down to 0 there. So, I'll go ahead and bump them now. This one and this one, and you'll see the fuel heat on there, and then that's the inner panel. And it'll go through a timing process. I forgot the amount of seconds, but you'll start to see your fuel heat there. Fuel temps start to rise a little bit, being that the sensors are after, once they're after the filters, I think, on this aircraft. I forgot, but I mean, you would imagine they'll be after the filters, but whatever. So, or before the filters, whenever. No. But yeah, you'll start to see a little increase in temp there. Let's see, bring this up just a little bit. Like I said, we'll do a quick turn in Amarillo, head back to Dallas, and then we'll shoot down to, I don't know, whichever place has the crappiest weather. I haven't found it yet. We're supposed to get some crappy weather here, but so Dallas apparently got slammed. Dayton. There's some awesomeness going on in Dayton, Ohio right now, as well as Cincinnati. Man, there's been some heavy systems rolling through here lately. Yeah, well, I don't know, we might try to shoot up to the northeast, see what's going on in Ohio. Let's see here. Let's see, what should fuel heat be normally? Really, it just depends on the outside air temp. I mean, Jet A, depending on the additives, at some point starts to gel up. So, as long, from what I've read, coming from the manual, from what I've read, you just want to keep it above zero. I'm trying to, let's see here. I'm trying to think of anything else regarding the heat. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, really, from what I've read, just, you know, when it gets close to zero, bump the fuel heat, and just keep it above freezing. Really is the name of the game from what I read. I'm sure there's more specific, and we're 97 miles out, so we'll go ahead and bring it down to 5,000 on that, and we'll go ahead and mark it right there. Bring this guy about $270. But yeah, I mean, honestly, just keep it above freezing, Mr. Woods. Quite honestly, I can't. I remember I looked into it previously. I couldn't find like exactly, you know, as far as, you know, the optimum temperature. But yeah, just keep it. If it's zero or less, you want to go ahead and bump that fuel temp. I mean, fuel heat switch. Get them back nice and warm. Let's go ahead and zoom this guy in real quick. And let's see, let's go to our initial reference page. Let's see, so flaps 28. And then also what we can do, go to our speed card. On landing data, and then we'll pull up here. Our projected landing weight is 119.8. So I'll go ahead and round up. Arrow on the side of caution and round it up to $120. And then if you bump this guy, twice there, it'll set up your V-speeds for you. So yeah, but we'll do 28, yeah, so 139. All right, we'll go ahead and start reducing, bringing it down to 260. And this where you'll kind of have to make adjustments on the fly there, but they do have a little indicator here to gives you a rough estimate of where you'll be routing wise at 5,000 feet. So kind of it does help a little bit to kind of gauge that. So we'll arm. And it's one of those sims where one of those aircraft where it's kind of like an Airbus. So let's say, for example, you know, I want to arm for 8,000 feet. So I'll go ahead and make my selections there. Well, click it or pull it out, and it'll program 8,000. But we want 6, so we'll go ahead and click it, pull it out, and you'll have 6,000 right there. You just kind of have to visualize it as I'm taking control of this altitude, so you're kind of pulling it away. I don't know, some weird, whatever little analogy you can, you know, think about to help you with it, you know. But basically, you know, as far as simulation purposes, you know, left click it, bam, is set right there. So just FYI. So at Goonie, we're projected to be at 12.5. Man, that's super high though. Alright, so we're below transition altitude, so we'll go ahead and program 3037. Jump up here into our pressurization page, and we'll try to get in 3037 there. That probably would help if I'll swing on up to AirNav. And AirNav or whatever you guys decide to use to get your weather info, but also field elevation as well. So I know the field elevation in Amarillo, Texas is about 3,600 feet. So being that this guy is by 100, we'll have to bump it up a little bit. So 1,800, 2,000, 3,600, about right there. And according to the METAR there, it's right now, it's around 2985. So actually that's a little higher than what I figured, but I'll bring it down to 2985. 2985. I have to keep repeating it, otherwise I'll forget. I think I'm blowing right past it. Whoops. Okay, alright, it's close enough. Close enough. But I did see like a few reports about, like, I guess for example, if you're rolling the switches there, them being a little too slow, you can enable excuse me, the mouse wheel acceleration, but you just gotta be careful because you will like overshoot stuff from time to time. So it's kind of keep in mind. Kind of bear that in mind when you enable it. up an outside view there real quick. And they did say they were going to look at increasing the volume on the engines there, because they do tend to be a little quiet from the outside compared, you know, considering that, you know, these are old school Pratt & Whitneys, and they tended to sound like fire-breathing dragons on takeoff and from the outside. So a little hint from the wing view there. And I've been told, go ahead and bring this to like 230. I have read that these add a little drag, but I don't know if he has implemented that. I dropped a little bit by extending the wing landing lights, not turning them on, but just kind of extending them. You can kind of see them right there. I've been told that they add a little, by a few extra 100 feet or so on approach. I mean on descent or whatever. I'll bring those up. I'll go ahead and throw in the spoiler. Spoiler, I guess you can say. Spoiler. Whatever. What you get from us Southerners. Spoilers. Spoilers, or spoilers. You gave me some spoilers, please. Alright, I'm around 240. Go ahead and bump that guy out. And go ahead and set my auto brake before he yells at me again. Well, it shouldn't yell at me now, but I'm going to go ahead and set it anyway. Or does the gear have to be down? Forgot. Oh, just FYI, make sure you guys read up on the auto brake system, because it's not like the Boeings where you just go ahead and set it whenever you want to set it. Because you do MD-80 when you're speeding with you as a guy study. I mean, sure. I'll probably do. I'm gonna run this trip today. I mean, this morning. But later tonight, I'll probably do another one tonight. If not tonight, tomorrow morning. And I'll do a run from Memphis to good old Jackson, Mississippi. For us, Mississippians, but yeah, whatever. But shout out to all Mississippians. But I know it's like 747 time, but different. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Alrighty. So yeah, I get pretty close to Goonie. So I'm gonna go ahead and shallow out my descent. Being that you have to keep in mind you are at 3,600 feet. So realistically, we're at 8,000 feet, but we're about 5,000 or so AGL, give or take. So bear that in mind. Go ahead and set your limit. About 500 foot per minute. I probably could have just did direct CVIX, but in fact, yeah, let's see here. We're just going to go ahead and assume they gave us direct CVIX, so we'll go ahead and throw that in there, execute it, and in theory, barring no unforeseens, she should track direct CVIX, which CVIX 5,400 feet, so Got a little condensation there forming on the wings there. I don't know, man. Just something. Just these wing views in some of these airplanes are. It's awesome. There, 22 miles out, so we'll go ahead and have the good old flight attendant there button everything up for us. I don't know if you can hear her, but she's making a call. Let's see here. And another cool feature of the MD-80, she does slow down quite quickly when you start adding slats and flaps. So you can come in at like 220, 230, all the way up to outer marker and still manage to get down in a relatively decent time. So which helps out in those busy class B airstrips, or if you're at if you're using VATSIM or something, you got a busy VATSIM session and got her and get in there, so you can get slowed down in a relatively decent time frame, so you can get in there and get out of the way, which is cool, which is awesome. So we'll go ahead and throw in our ignition selectors to both, and this is where it kind of gets a little busy, so we'll go ahead and throw in our hydraulic pumps to high, aux and trans pumps to on and on. And then we're gonna shimmy back over. You can imagine trying to do this in real life. I mean, you could probably reach over and hit those, but good grief. Like that, I really don't know why they did that. I mean, that would have been awesome to be, I mean, I guess you don't have much room. I probably could have hit a corner or something up there. Alright, so we can go ahead and start slowing down. And if you look at your flap speeds here, I mean, they're super high. So, I mean, we can start throwing slats in now.
Slats extended.
So right now we're lined up at about 5. And in case you guys are wondering this, here's the gear off horn, so we'll go ahead and silence that guy. I'm not quite ready to drop the gear just yet. And just FYI, shout out to, oh Lord, what is the heck? The heck is this guy's? For your scenery. He puts out some scenery for a lot of regional airports, which is awesome because, I mean, we can only go to so many. We can only go to like LAX so many times and all that. SX Airport Design. He puts out a lot of, like I said, a lot of regional airports. So shout out to him for this awesome scenery. Or her, me. Just. All right, so We'll go ahead, slow her on down to $1.80 and throw in some more flaps. And we'll go ahead and silence that there. And make sure everything is lined out, which it should be. Everything's pretty much in order there. Got our engine ignition selector set. Seatbelt signs are on. Let's see, will it let me do it now? Oh. Bet you I'll have to bring the gear down. Bet you I gotta bring the gear down. Go ahead and zoom in there. One more wing view. And in case you guys are wondering, yes, this airport is surrounded by a lot of farmland. So we're about 10 miles or so out from the airport. And in case you're wondering, this thing is a joy in the hand fly. Just a lot of times you get so bloody busy. It helps to utilize auto. Get about 10 miles. We'll go ahead and bring the gear down. So we'll go ahead and call it. I'm about to drop the landing gear. I hear you. I hear you. Yes, I know. There we go. And I'm gonna go ahead and take control at this time. Yep, she's gonna be loud. And tap Z a few times, and that goes away. And see if I can do this without dying. There we go. All right. And I like to go ahead and grab the throttles as well. Like I said, the controls are a little sluggish at a low speed, so want to keep that in mind. And with these multi-staged engines, the spool time is a little slow, so you want to at least keep a little power in and just try to do the best you can to use pitch to manage your speed. Because if you do need power, you know, it's sometimes you have to wait a while on these older airplanes. So got a little crosswind there. Need some rudder. And we'll just slide her in there nice and easy. Alrighty. Good right there. Okay. Got a little bit of a wind shift. Start working out some of that power.
400. Terrain.
Yep, that's fine. There's a little cliff there.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Little forward elevator there.
2 in reverse. 60 knots. Reverse lights out.
Kind of come wide a little bit so I can make this exit and okay. Alrighty. Since we don't have an FO, make sure we're clear of the active, but go ahead and take this opportunity to get cleaned up and get our APU. Our APU going. Too smooth. Thank you, sir. Wasn't the best. I still. My nose tiller still has a little bit of an issue. So a lot of times while I land, my tiller dig in and I start kind of veering off the side of the runway. I'm just looking for the terminal. I think it's like over here somewhere. You would think I'd have an airport map, but yeah, no. Alright, so and there is a brake temp gauge, once again, right around the first officer's leg there, and you can verify your brake temps by using that. So eventually I'd like to see two-player compatibility with this thing, which the older version it did. Actually, I think it was one of the first to implement that for flight sim. No, I take that back. I think it was Digital Aviation Fokker, I think, or something like that. Had that capability as well. But it would be awesome to see that in this, because this panel screams cockpit resource management, like in the worst way. So hopefully they'll implement that for us. Trying to find the bloody gates here. I think they're this way. I think so. I don't remember. Oh yeah, there you go. They're this way. They're this way. And not quite this wide, but you will have to take the turns kind of wide on this airplane, because yeah, it's a lot of airplane behind you, so you'll have to come out kind of wide on your turns. But yeah, the plan is we're going to do a quick turn. So APU running, air conditioner, all the bleeds running. I mean, all the bleeds open and everything ready to go. We'll deboard using GXX and board using GXX, and back to Dallas we go. At least that's the plan. Okay, you do get some noticeable authority using the rudder pedals, which is upside a lot. And once again, we are at idle, so we'll go ahead and kill one. And we'll kill one. Normally you'd open up the bleeds, but I can't reach him right now and I'm taxiing, so be okay. I think we have, no, we'll go ahead and use APU there to give us some. I'm trying not to, see what I mean? Yeah. And turn this guy off. Alright, add a touch of power. And normally what I found to help me out on this bird is that if you come in with a little power on the turns, it helps kind of not get y'all bound up, I guess. So make that come out a little wide. Go ahead and make that turn there. And we'll hit this gate right straight ahead of us. Just ahead of us, a little ahead. There we go. Alright, so that guy there, go ahead and kill that guy. Slide on over here, open up my bleeds, slide a little further over here, and turn off the bloody hydraulics. Press A. Oh, thank you, sir. I'm sure something I could have done a little better. See, alright, so we'll go ahead and jump to our fly attendants panel, start onboarding. And let's see, at this point we'll go ahead and turn on our start pump, turn our main pumps off, anti-ice off, HUDAD off, that off, and okay. Then we'll jump back to our review deal there, turn on GXX. Oh yeah, and the windows do open up, in case you're wondering. I didn't intentionally mean to do that, but it happened. But I've heard the gate positions were like a wee bit off, but yeah. so any collision off there. Should have been off a while ago, but it's all good. Alright, and while they're doing that, doing everything, let's see, we'll go ahead and get us a flight cooked up here. Let's see. See, KDFW. Sorry guys for my clicking and clacking. Let's see, KDFW, yeah. KDFW. Alright, MD-82. And just FYI, if you guys don't use SimBrief, I mean, check it out. Even if you guys use something else, check it out because it's super, super convenient. Alright. So 273 miles. Alright, so we'll generate that guy. Jump in here. Everything's is already blanked out for you, so just go ahead and start throwing in your what's the butts there? Your departure, I mean your origin and destination airport. And runaway, we'll use ATIS for that.
Amarillo Airport information Alpha 16210 wind
02411. So runway 4.
sky conditions clear.
So runway 4.
Altimeter 30.
We'll bring. Let's see. So block fuel 1400. So while we're doing that, we'll go ahead and contact the mechanic. Sometimes you'll have to hit it twice. Or 3 times. There we go. Let's see. So about 1400. And do something around there. Good. See. Whoops. All right, so set that, and looks like everybody has deplaned or deboarded or whatever. So we'll go ahead and start boarding. Let's see here. Flight plan. My direct. I don't know. Okay, so let me go back here. So direct E and H. That, then direct Adano E O, and we'll slide on over here. And Victory 2 arrival. I'm assuming that's spelled victory. Or we're trying to spell victory. So now it's saying 17. It's saying right now they're favoring 17. I don't know. I'm having a hard time believing that. So KDFW. Now apparently they were having some pretty crappy weather in DFW, but we didn't get that, so 220, so that'll be I bet you they're gonna call. We'll go ahead and plan for the flight plan's calling for oh, no worry, bud. Me too. We'll go ahead and run Victory 2, but I got a strong feeling we're going to be hitting for 3.6, but whatever. So 17. We'll do 17. I think 17 right, it's closer. And we'll do nets. So activate that. And let's see. 2.5. We'll do 27,000 feet. And let's see, total fuel on board. Oh, we're still fueling, but it should be. I'll wait till we're done fueling. And I'm gonna do the same here. So I'm hit for a coffee refill real quick, guys, and I'll be right back. Boarding. baby. Ooh, sorry guys, I am back. Alrighty, so let's see here. 114.7, and then you always got to put that in there for normal fuel schedule. So once your fuel rate still 110,000 pounds, well, I guess 111,000 pounds, somewhere around there, depending on if you interpolate or not. All right, go ahead and just to take off data. And 125, actually, a little heavier. Put up to 125 there. Got all these guys in. 131, 139. There we go. Like irradiating people. So that's set. Go ahead and actually I won't do that. Let's go mass and well, it should pull the jetway away from us. No, never mind. It's error on the side of caution, so we'll go ahead and operate that. Should pull it away from us, I think. Oh, never mind. I already did it. Whoops. Sorry. Didn't give GSX enough credit. Shame on me. Shame on me. Other than that, I think everything is set. Let's see, on progressive taxi and anti-collision lights on, and gotta jump over here and go ahead and turn these guys on. And you can go ahead and turn the engine hydraulic pumps on, even though they're not running at the moment. When they fire off, they'll kick in. So there's that. And all right, guys, let's go ahead and push here. So see, since we don't have actual ramp agents there, verify, make sure everything's clear in the back. Alright, let's go ahead and prepare for pushback and departure. Point nose to the left. No. Okay, make sure our bleeds are configured appropriately. And unfortunately, we'll have to take the air conditioning away from the passengers for the time being. Got our start pump on there. We're going to go ahead and fire off our fuel pumps. Seatbelt signs are on. Everything else looks configured appropriately, so we can get the heck out of here. At least that's the plan, unless I screw something up. I don't think I did. There's so much going on. That's why I would love to have our opportunity to do like a shared cockpit type deal, you know, when the feature does release, which would make life so much easier.
Departure check completed. Live has been inserted. Release parking brakes.
All right. Parking brakes release.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
And we'll just select ignition system A for this one. And make sure, verify with the FO that we are clear on the right. And we're clear on the right, so we're going to go ahead and start that right engine. Wait for that N to increase right there. And she's creeping. She's creeping. Almost waiting for that 23. Come on, girl. There she goes. And give her to her. 23%. And let that EGT climb up. Watch the fuel cutoff switches just in case. And we're good. Alright, cool. So, go ahead and close that start valve. Since, as we said before, it's not automatic. Make sure we are clear on the left. And, yeah, we're going to go ahead and close this window there. Looks like our captain's smoking a cigarette or something. I don't know. But, make sure we're clear on the left. And go ahead and start that left engine. Yeah, who knows? I mean, we are in Amarillo, Texas, so I'm sure nobody probably cares if the captain smokes a cigarette real quick. Just saying. Alright, so make sure we're up there around 22-23%. Alrighty, there we go. Watch the EGT there, make sure. Alright, it's looking lined out. Cool. Go ahead and close that start valve. Go ahead and give these guys their air conditioning back. Close that left and right pneumatic crossfeed lever. Alright, parking brake is set, sir. Let's see. Turn that on. And on, anti-ice on, anti-skids on, yaw dampers on. Let's see, we can go ahead and turn these guys off. Turn off the air feed off. See, and then we'll turn off that APU master and let it wind down. And we'll go ahead and make sure we are protected from terrorists. Alright, TO set. Go ahead and throw some takeoff flaps in there. Go ahead and stir a trim and take a sip of the old coffee. Alright, so it's good like that. Zoom out, make sure that's all programmed in there. Cool. Go ahead and arm this. Press our toggle buttons. Make sure we got takeoff there in our DF, whatever that is, digital flight data something. Make sure that's in there. Go ahead and arm our nav mode. Now it looks like we are ready. So we'll turn off that parking brake and get into it nice and easy. There we go, just like that. But yeah, that's what I love about hitting little airports like these. Sometimes can be a challenge because you don't have gobs of runway to play around with or something like that, or a lot of times it may be in areas of unusual terrain, so we got that to deal with. I mean, it's just a challenge going into these smaller airports. That's why a lot of times you'll find me running airplanes that kind of mid to regional range, if not general aviation, just for that very reason. Because I get tired of going into the Seattle, LAX, Miami. I'll go at that station, didn't work. Wow. Yeah, I honestly like as far as graphics wise, I like Rotate's -80. I helped on the beta team a little bit for that guy, but it's just, I don't know. There are some things that are, you know, a major characteristic to the Dash 80 that, you know, I didn't see, because I don't know, in my opinion, I just kind of think that I think their version, their rendition of the Dash 80 sits up a little too high for me. Like the gear height is a little too high. I don't know. Maybe that's just how it looked to me. I don't know. Maybe they've updated. I don't know. Seems a little off. As you can see, we don't have much runway. I mean, much taxiway to play with either. So, just a lovely airport. I love this airport. And the awesome part is, it's only like, I think you paid like $15, and that's like full price, no sale or anything on Sim Market. So, if you guys looking for some another Texas airport to swing through to, definitely check out this one on Sim Market. Do a nice little brisk roll down here to the active. You can tell when I took my hands off the tiller. But like I said, you do still have a good bit of nose wheel authority using your rudder pedals, so it's not horrible. I mean, kind of have to balance it. Plus, my hardware is super old, so doesn't help either. I think my yoke is a bit close to like 6 years old, I think. It might be time for new ones, but when I think about it. I swear it's not me. Hold on, here we go. Got the throttle. Goodness. Whew. More immersive. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, hands down, there's no comparison. I mean, it's a great model, but you just, I mean, it's like once you simulated everything, like all the systems in the airplane, it's really hard to me. There's really not much more you can simulate other than like graphics and stuff like that. But then becomes a point to where it's just, you know, a resource hog for, you know, a lot of us users. And I mean, it's just this fits right into what a lot of people are looking for. Like I said, you kind of have to overshoot a little bit because that's the hold short marker for the ILS, but we're going to assume that's not active and meander on through it, and probably mark it right. All right, make sure we're all properly configured up. I'll make sure everything's set. Got that set. Go ahead and arm our speed brake so it won't yell at us anymore. Go ahead and set our ignition selectors to both. Alright, looks like we're all set up there, and turn on the weather radar. Alright.
Amarillo Tower, American 2279er, ready at runway 4 east departure. American 2279er, clear for takeoff, runway 4 east departure, approved. Clear for takeoff, runway 4, American 2279er.
Running lights on. And once again, we're going to do a rolling takeoff on this one. Okay. Up there. Alright, take off.
Takeoff thrust set. Clamp.
Clamp right there.
80 knots, cross check.
Like I said, this is when you kind of have to monitor your engines because they will get weird from time to time. There we go.
V1. Rotate. Positive rate.
Drop.
Gear up.
American
Lights out.
2279er, you are leaving my airspace, frequency change approved.
Okay. Go ahead and arm VNav. Start working your flaps out.
Flap 0.
Alright, retract your slats.
Slats retracted.
Start picking up speed a little bit, and you'll notice that angle of attack start increasing. Right now, like I said, I'm pen flying it right now, so notice that variable speed start to shoot up. I mean, she's a little slow in the acceleration, but once she gets it, she gets it. Okay. 10,000 feet. There. Not sure if you guys are seeing that. Waiting for it to come back down. Alright, go ahead and let auto take it. There we go. They're line out right there, and yeah, we should have been in climb power, but it'll be okay. Play on 22. Oh, awesome, awesome. Yeah, I was in the Army National Guard myself. I did 10 years and worked at a Camp Shelby Joint Forces Training Center, and got out like 2000, and I think about 2011. So, and being that you're in the Mississippi Guard, I'm pretty sure you've had a visit or two at Camp Shelby. Alrighty. Gorgeous model. Alright, go ahead and disengage that. But yeah, normally, like I said, on takeoff, you want to, when you increase your power, get it up to 40%. The auto throttle isn't, it's kind of semi-useful from that aspect, so you will have to monitor your EPR ratings, make sure you don't go below that, and keep it at a consistent takeoff power, because sometimes it will fall out of clamp. So fly power, make sure it lines out. Then at that point engage your auto throttle and continue to increase with the with takeoff power until you get that clamp notification. At that point, you can kind of just observe at that point, and start and wait for your V speed. So it's a much different animal from a lot of the aircraft we're accustomed to. And actuality, we need to jump over to our first officers panel and turn off our aux and trans pumps. Yeah, it should be a fairly quick trip, being that we have a 75 knot tailwind. Right now, our ground speed is roughly 449 knots. Hadn't even lined out at cruising altitude yet. So this one's going to be a fairly quick trip. Oh man, fairly quick trip. Set this guy up here. We're going to turn off those fast seatbelt signs. Looks like we're out of any turbulence. Small world, filter, gun chief, safe to say, I know. Very, very small world, sir. Wow. Wow. Unbelievable. Yeah, I tell you what, tickles me to death when not only do you meet a fellow Mississippian, but you also meet a fellow soldier or fellow vet as well, and that's why I love doing this. I don't do it for the money. Trust me, I make make nothing on this, but just being able to commune with with different people from different walks of life, man, it makes it all worth it. All worth it. And we're booking at 78 knots, 466. Good lord. Okay. Yeah, so right now we got 78 knot, just straight tailwind. Yeah, she is gonna scoot at cruise. I said, according to the weather, there's supposed to be some storms in and around the Fort Worth area, but that, my friends, remains to be seen. Sometimes active sky can be a little off, to say the least. See. Conditions, KDFW. Yeah, right now, just, yeah. Forecast hours, partly cloudy. Okay, predicted plus 4 hours, okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, out of flight level 240 for flight level 270. Good old flight level 270. Let's see here. Yeah, I can't begin to tell you how many hours I will put on this thing. Holy smokes. I mean, it has to be probably my most favorite of all the airliners there. I love airplanes that make you work. I think the only other thing that could be even better is if someone pulled out a like a study level DC-10 sim or cough cough MD-11 sim. Which the MD-11, I mean, it's it's fairly automated, but it's just an unusual airplane with unusual characteristics, and that fascinates me. So I have heard that TFDI has a MD-11 on their development schedule. When that will be, or when that will happen, I have no idea. But hopefully, we'll have an awesome MD-11 to complement our MD-80 now. So really looking forward to that. But I mean, for the most part, man, that's really it as far as what we have available to us now. Is if we're talking older, the older generation of aircraft. So, let's see here. But yeah, super excited for this thing. I think it comes in a Delta livery as well, so it's not like you'll have to go and install a, I mean, which, you can, the option is there, but not like you'll have to go and install additional liveries for it or whatnot, so it makes life a lot easier. Alright, looks like she's lining out at about 1.6, 84 knot tailwind, 498 knot ground speed, so yeah, we'll be there pretty quick. So actually I hadn't all the way decided on where we're going after this. Let's see, hadn't all the way decided. I don't know. Let's see here. So we'll do Jackson. What's it looking like in Jackson? Alright, 180. That's saying right now it's 180 at 1.5. Okay, it's not bad. Not bad. Not bad at all. Maybe one day Jackson starts seeing a little more real world air traffic. I kind of heard them when Southwest cut out, but I think they still get quite a bit of CRJ traffic. I think Delta flies an MD-80 there, I think, or MD-90, probably MD-90 if I'm willing to guess, but I want to fix MD-90. Oh no, now I'm curious. Dadgummit, hold on, I'm looking now. What does she fly? Oh yes, MD-88. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Yeah, MD-88 Delta flies out of there. On the regular, and pretty much everything else is just regional providers for probably United and American. So yeah, I think we'll do that. So we'll go ahead and do a new flight and depart Kilo Delta Foxtrot Whiskey and KDFW. Thought about Gulfport, but there's like really not a whole lot going on. Oh well, heck, they get a freaking MD-80 there too. What to do? What to do? Ah, heck, screw. We'll do Gulfport. We'll do Gulfport. So Kilo Golf Papa Tango. Okay. There we go. Way too many windows up. Good man. Yeah. Alright, 476 miles. Alright, so I know for a fact DFW is around 600 feet, so we'll set it for around 6 right there. Awesome quiet flight, man. Wow. And from what I've heard, that from up front, it's actually fairly quiet up front as well. Of course, you know, I'd be at the engine noise, but I mean the wind noise, but you're so far from the engines, I hear it's pretty quiet from that aspect at least. Respond to another Twitter. Cool. Oh. But yeah, I mean, as you guys saw, I mean, the turnaround, you know, I mean, realistically, you know, plus or minus maybe 10 minutes. I mean, maybe offload, you know, get some odds and ends loose tied up, list, you know, there's some, you know, got a refuel or something like that. But I mean, even with us refueling, I mean, we're maybe down, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. So, you know, realistically, dealing with passengers, they're looking, yeah, right around about a 30-minute turnaround, you know, right off the APU, you know, ground power or anything, you know, minimal ground services. So, I mean, that's in essence what the, you know, what the MD was designed for, you know, those, you know, get in and out, quick turns, you know, getting into those airports with minimal ground support, and you know, getting those cycles knocked out in a day. So, I mean, it's done a good job for, you know, a number of years, and I think the reason, well, probably one of the main reasons why American has ran them so, other than, you know, the fact that they're probably paid off, but you know, they've ran them so much is because they, you know, they're, for the most part, they're durable. Now, I will say, I was traveling. It was about a couple months ago. Happened to most of the times I'll use Southwest to get from point A to point B. But when I do have the opportunity, I like to use American just to get the opportunity to ride on, you know, a few of these guys before they go away. But they did have a MD-80, you know, on the that was handling that trip, and of course, it did have a mechanical issue. Which, I mean, the girls are old. I mean, they're going to have problems. So just know if you book a flight and it's on the MD-80 or even an ANI, you know, just make sure you have some contingencies, because there is the event that, you know, mechanical issues will arise because, you know, they're old. So. But luckily it was in DFW, so I mean that's their maintenance hub, and it didn't take them long at all to find a replacement and get us out of there. So looks like we're about 14 miles from our top of descent. I mean, I told you guys, I mean, we were booking it. I mean, it's awesome. So we're gonna go ahead and get it all nice and prepped for our descent into Gulfport. Not Gulfport, I'm sorry, DFW. Cool. Alright, so did we arm that? Yeah, I think we did. Alright, let's go ahead and prep here. Alright, so we know the ILS for 17 right is 111.35. And go ahead and set it up for 176. Go. And that's our fuel temp there, so we'll go ahead and bump these guys real quick. Double check those legs. Hopefully we'll hit 17,000. Go ahead and throw in spoilers there. Hitting on down there, that's for sure. Supposed to be at 17,000 there, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Not in 6 miles. Might cross it a little high. That's that old auto throttle trying to overcompensate as usual. This is where you kind of dive in there and start doing your thing. Up to 70. That's speed mode. So Z-Man, I mean Zubov, are supposed to be around 13 grand. Once again, I don't think that's going to happen. So we'll go ahead and add some spoilers there to expedite the descent. Let's see if I can catch the... see if I can show you guys the wing flex. I know if the turbulence bad enough. I know I hit some pretty bad turbulence yesterday. There we go. So yes, in case you're wondering, the wings do flex. Yeah, we're just now hitting 17. It doesn't help. We got this tailwind pushing us, so. The victory, you're supposed to be at 10,000. Bring that vertical speed up just a little bit. All right, looking good, looking good. So it should be at 10,000 there at victory. All right, got seatbelt signs on. Everything's looking good there. Fuel temp looks good. And we can go ahead and set our EPR limit there. Just have it prepped and ready. Go ahead and adjust our radar there. Hey man, DFW. Hey, what's going on, bud? Long time no see, man. All right, let it line out there. Let it line out 10 grand, just like that. Get below 250, and then we'll push your own down to for intercept. At least that's the plan. At least that is the plan. Alright, go ahead and see if I can grab 240. My debit. DFW. Matter of fact, while we're talking now, make your way over to Sim Market and go ahead and click the buy button. The buy button. Don't think. Let's go ahead and buy it. It's a winner, man. Honestly, it's a winner. Yeah, it's it's what we've been asking for a long time. I mean, ever since they you know, the first generation of the just give you got to, man. You got to cough up the cheddar, man. It's a little pricey. I think it's about $82 US, but my goodness, man. My goodness. I'm not even thinking about the CRJ at the moment. Just not even thinking about it. I mean, just awesome model. It's a little quiet on the outside for me. The exterior sounds are a little quiet. But I mean, other than that, I have not found I haven't found a deal breaker yet, and I've flown the crap out of this thing, and in 2 days I've had it. I mean, I've literally flown the crap out of this thing in 2 days, and I mean, my frames are good right now, around 40 frames a second. You know, between 40 and 50 frames a second. Mine may set to unlimited, but I mean, frames are super smooth. I've just been impressed, man. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous about it because I mean the guy freaking disappeared off the map for like a couple years and just came back and it's like, bam, here you go. You know, got this deal, got this old girl out for P3D now, and you're like, I don't know. I mean, the guy's been out of the game for a few years, but man, there's a few little issues that I saw, but not necessarily a deal breaker for me. Let me see here. Me try to aviate first, and I can in depth. You know, on the MD-80 where you got the little mirrors for your compass. I mean, that hasn't been implemented yet, but see where you let back in DFW, my friend. Back in DFW for a quick turn to head into Gulfport, Mississippi. As soon as I can get my speed under control. Got the yapping, man. Wasn't paying attention. Alright, let's see if we can add a little. Yeah, I saw that, but I'm not, for whatever reason, Active Sky hadn't gave us any rain because I was looking to try to show off the True Glass for those who haven't experienced the awesomeness of True Glass yet, and I hadn't had the opportunity. So I've been hunting for some rain, but I just can't find it right now, sir. I know I was up there. I was coming back from West Texas day before yesterday. No, was it Wednesday night? I mean, it was like the roads were frozen. I mean, frozen solid. I was surprised I was even able to fly out. All right, we'll do a direct to a frontal approach fix here. Nets. I mean, frozen solid. Alright, Joe will go over here and we'll go ahead and turn on bring our engine driven pumps to high, trans and aux pumps to on. Yeah, it was bad, man. It's a nice wintry mix. Alright, now we'll go ahead and jump in our speed card here. Landing data, landing weight should be around buck 20. We'll verify that. 121.4, close enough for government work. So we'll go ahead and there we go. Looks about right. Everything's matching up. Cool. But yeah, it's definitely worth the money, my friend, for sure. We're still at about 200 knots. And bring up the speed brake. Yeah. So you're gonna catch it? Yep, she caught it. Alright, go ahead and update our pressurization. What was that? 30 something 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 3036. Okay. Alrighty. 6. And looks like we've got localizer alive. Let's see if we can get her to line out on that localizer there. Get her to start tracking the old localizer. Give you guys a quick wing view. A little condensation over the wings, that's pretty cool. Alright, so we got localizer capture. And I'll go ahead and throw in some slats there.
Slats extended.
And speed set to 200. We'll go ahead and dial this guy in for our runway heading. This is set. Not yet. Yeah, go ahead. Oh my gosh. This is one of the frustrating nuances with old McDonnell Douglas aircraft. Alright, everything else looks good. We'll go ahead and set our ignition to both. Everything else looks to be in order. Go ahead and arm the ILS. Set this guy down to about 175. Not yet. Alright, gear. Alright, now gear down.
Gear down.
See if I can. There we go. Yeah, she's gonna chase it, but she should line out here shortly.
Flaps 15.
Are you using chase plane? No, sir, I am not. So you go ahead and set my auto brake there, or not. See.
Flaps 28.
Oh, go ahead and we'll take over. Flaps 28 are gotcha, that's what it was. Okay. Thank you, sir. A little power there. Ooh.
400, 300, 200. Light slow, light slow, light
That's
slow,
fine.
light slow, light slow,
Full power.
light slow. 1
Let's say.
2 in reverse. Reverse lights out.
Alright, see if we can depart runway environment. Oh, thank you, sir. Alrighty, let's see. And being that we have no FO, I'm gonna go ahead and bring this thing to a
Ladies and gentlemen,
stop real quick and get her all nice and cleaned up.
until the fasten seatbelt sign has been turned off. Passengers continuing their journey on another flight.
Alrighty, so bring those flaps up. Those gear on. Only 10 80s left. That's it. Holy cow, DFW. I mean, it's not surprising, but it's like, man, that's terrible. Oh man, it's awful. Wow. So sad. Well, all I can say, fellas and ladies, hope to get the CRJ lined out, because if you're looking for realism, there are not many left. But I don't think they will make it. Oh man. Oh man. Wow. Yeah, I knew they were starting to kind of rotate him out, but I didn't think it'll be that bloody quick, man. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. I mean, I have to admit, it just feels like an era. The golden era of aviation is gone. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some excellent airplanes out there now. I mean, just some awesome, you know. For an update, is ML love. Wow. For an update, I'm gonna have to check that out, Mr. Woods. Thank you, sir. Update, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, I don't know, it just feels like a golden era is gone, man. It just, I don't know. Like I said, there's some great airplanes out there, but I don't know, the direct linkages and all that fun stuff, man. It's over. So sad. Love to hate the new bows of sturdy. Absolutely. Absolutely. Exactly. I mean, just a solid airplane. I mean, put up, you know, with a lot of high cycle routes, and you know, just not only that, and you know, and it was safe. So yeah, that's true. Keeping the old girls running. I mean, I'd love to kind of hear, you know, the maintenance side of things, as far as, you know, if they you know, love to work on them or not. I'm sure they're, you know, I'm sure there are some out there who grew to kind of, you know, enjoy working on the 80. Hope it's true. Yeah, I don't. That's a good question. I have to look at that because I don't know if True Bass is. Well, maybe I'm not sure. Oh no, it's your excitement is quite warranted, sir. It is quite warranted because you know a lot of us didn't figure this day would ever come. And D board American. I'm just happy GSX at least, you know, works fairly decently on this aircraft. Not an update from FS Dream Team. Seems to work okay. Let me go over here and turn off this. Then you gotta jump back over to the FO side and turn off your aux pumps. And we'll dive over here, throw in our flight plan that we got cooked up. While we're at it, contact the mechanic.
Yes, sir.
Let's see, it's like a column for 16.2. And I'll go a little above that. Be alright. Let's see. DFWs to GPT. Actually, I would absolutely love to see shared cockpit support for this thing. I mean, it would be awesome. Because I know the older version used to back in the day, but I'm sure there's some other. Let's see. So, let's verify my position first before I get to. Alright, so we'll be favoring left. Cool. Alright, so let's see. That over here, so we'll be taken to the MRSSH2 departure. Can't pronounce that, but something like that. I like to miss something. I don't know. Sometimes you can kind of discern what the FAA was trying to pronounce with their wording, but I can't figure that one out. Let's see, 35 left, I think is what I said. Yeah. And there we go. Did it select? Should have selected. Oh, didn't select. Okay. There we go. And Zalia, as usual. And let's see, 35 left. There we go. Alright, so, and we'll do direct sawmill. So that's Sierra Whiskey Bravo. There. Jump over. And we do direct HRV. Hotel Romeo Victor. That and direct GPT runway 14. So we'll shoot the ILS 14, and I think it's Mendo that's around there. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So we'll go ahead and tell. We'll go ahead and start boarding. See where our fuel's looking like. There's just they're still getting us all ES'd up. Alright, so aim 7 and then /n. That in there. See what's cruising up to 350. So 350. Go ahead and turn off our reflector. This all set. All right, go ahead and request boarding. All right, guys, cool. We're all set. So I'm gonna go run to the restroom real quick and be right back. Alrighty, let's see here.
Please let us know if we may assist you. To expedite the boarding process, please be seated as quickly as possible after storing your carry-on items. Take a moment to review the safety instruction card on your seatbelt. Passengers seated in rows 24 and 26 are also asked to complete the exit row seatbelt.
Go ahead and turn seatbelt signs on.
If you are unwilling or have a condition which will hinder you from performing the functions described on the card, just please ask to be reseated. All cellular telephones and other portable electronic devices, such as CD players and laptop computers, must be turned off and stored for departure.
Just waiting for that 0 fuel weight, and we'll be ready to go.
For everyone's safety, regulations require you to wear all lighted signs, placards, and provide instructions. Once again, welcome aboard.
All right, 110.1. 10.1. That in there, reserves. No, we got about 2,500, so 2.5. And we'll go ahead and roll out our takeoff data sheet 127. So we'll do I can't think right now what number. Oh, I'm sorry. There we go. 127, 132, 140. Alrighty, so got that dialed in there, and we'll go ahead and set that up, and we'll be finishing our last. Looks like she's all boarded up and ready to go, so we'll go ahead and pull the gate. Fuel pumps on. Anti-skid, all that is set. Turn on our lock our doors there. Make sure we don't get no terrorists in there. We'll turn it off to that afterwards. And we'll jump over here to our panel there, get our pumps up pumping. Jump back. Looks like everything else is in order. And let's see here. Okay, there we go. Alright, double check the exterior, make sure everything's shut. And in the event that's not, you just pull up your shift 1 and hit that little aft stairway thing, and she'll fold right on up, so no worries there. Alright, go ahead and turn on our anti-collision light. And let's see, be departing to the south, so it should be a fairly quick flight, but make sure we're all set up there. So, yep, that's right, that's right. Alright, cool. Alright, so go ahead and call up our. Nope, don't want refueling service. And keep in mind, those of you who do have the 4.2 update for P3D, GXX does have like some weirdness going on. Nothing crazy, but it does tend to get weird from time to time, so just kind of be on the lookout. Alright, fuel pumps are on. That's set. Okay. I'm always double checking because it'll be that one time if you get to start up and it like blows up your engine or something, or you don't have the bleeds on or something like that. I mean, GSX does work quite well with her, so.
Departure check
Alrighty.
completed. Light has been inserted. Release parking brakes.
Okay, parking brakes release.
Commencing push.
Go ahead and turn off our.
Start that wheel.
Go ahead and shut those bleeds off real quick, and fire these engines up. Make sure we got good bleed pressure, and set our ignition. Make sure we're clear on the right, and we'll go ahead and open up that right start valve. Alright, 22%. Waiting for 23. There she goes. Alright, go ahead and close that start valve right quick. Alright, make sure we are clear on the left, and we're clear on the left, and go ahead and start that left engine. Left start valve selected. Make sure we get proper into increase. Got into increase right there, waiting for 23%. Alright, got 23%. We'll go ahead and give it to her right there. There's EGT. Make sure it doesn't do anything excessive. Looks good. Looks like it's lining out. Got generator connected, and number 1 is started. And we'll go ahead and turn off that
Set parking brakes.
start valve. Set the parking brake so it can do their thing, and so it can do ours. So we'll go ahead and turn on air conditioning. That. We'll turn off the air source. Close our pneumatic cross feed valves. And set our ignition to off. Go ahead and set our APU to off. Verify we got our anti-skid and yaw damper on. Air conditioning pressurization is set-ish. Alright, so we got that set.
Disconnected. Light has been removed.
Alrighty, go ahead and set our flaps to 15 degrees. I'm assuming you can probably drag this as well. Yeah, you can drag this, and it runs. Seems to run. Oh, okay. It seems to run a little quicker.
Left is clear.
Alrighty, so flaps set to 15. Got weather radar on standby. Speeds are set. Go ahead, got our flight directors on, so we'll hear our toggle buttons down here, and my computer just blew up. Oh no!